All right, can everybody hear out there? All right, it is 4 o'clock. Time to call the February 7th, 2024 Sherwood Advertising and Promotions Commission meeting to order. If you'll call the roll, please, Jamie.
Charlie.
Here.
Danny.
Here.
Nita.
Here.
Marina.
Here. So we're missing Faith is absent, and Jeff is absent. We know that, and Josh didn't let me know, so I don't know one way or the other on him. Okay. I did email out the minutes prior to the meeting. Did everyone have a chance to look over those minutes? Does anyone have any questions on the minutes or any corrections? These are the unapproved minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Nita and a second, was that by Charlie? Motion by Nita, second by Charlie. If you call the roll, please.
Charlie.
Aye.
Danny.
Aye.
Nita.
Aye.
Marina.
Aye. The unapproved minutes were approved, and I will sign those and give those to Debbie. All right. At this time, I'd like to call Denise Goforth up. She is from Air Power, Arkansas, and if you remember back last year, we were a major sponsor of the air show, and we were acknowledged on Friday night since we did sponsor the Friday night social event out at the air base. Denise, if you'd like to come forward and make your presentation. I don't know if that microphone's on. Is that microphone on, do we know? Well, Heather Jenkins is our Public Information Officer. In fact, Heather, this is Denise. Y'all put it. Just because this is live streamed on YouTube, so we like it to be loud, so.
The on button helps.
On up there, because that was the problem last time.
It says, I hit unmute all, so
Okay, but your screen's activated.
my screen is activated, and I did hit unmute all, so.
So on behalf, I'm not hearing, okay.
You know what you can do is you can go this last microphone here and just hit.
It's on.
It's on.
Okay. On behalf of Air Power Arkansas, I would like to thank the Sherwood A&P Commission for your support in being the sponsor for the Friday night social at Little Rock Air Force Base for the 2023 air show. The air show itself, over the 2 days, saw in excess of 270,000 individuals. The Friday night social is not something new, but the Friday night small air show itself was a new initiative on the part of the air base itself. For those that were able to come out and see it, there were several of the acts that flew on Friday and Saturday that had a nighttime component that was something new for a number of us that had seen air shows over the years and had not had the opportunity to see something like that. And without the support of our community partners, the things that Air Power Arkansas is able to do to help the air base offset expenses that Department of Defense funds cannot go to pay for, really, truly benefits the community as a whole and benefits the base. In December, we found out that at ICAS, and that's the International Council of Air Shows, that Little Rock Air Force Base and our air show won the Thunderbirds 2023 Air Show of the Year. And that's in large part in the support that we received by our community partners, because if it was not for the funding that we receive from the commissions, Air Power Arkansas could not do what we do. And just to give you an idea of what we do with those funds, you know, it does pay for the things like you saw at the Friday night social. You know, it's the food and the beverage that was provided to the attendees of the Friday night event. It was the food and beverage that was provided to all of the performers and the static display artists and the people that were out at their planes all weekend long. The volunteers that were there at the base during the weekend. We provided the shirts that those volunteers wore. So it's so many things that we are able to do, and without your support, we could not be able to do that. So on behalf of Air Power Arkansas, I'd like to present this plaque to you. It's the air show poster, and it says, "With grateful appreciation to Sherwood AMP for your outstanding support of the 2023 Little Rock Air Force Base Thunder Over the Rock Air Show." And it has 2 of the coins from the air show. Thank
Yay,
you again.
thank
for your
you.
support.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I know Danny attended, the mayor attended, who else attended out there? Ronnie?
Can we get maybe a picture with you and,
I'll tell you what, let's do Danny and myself. Who all attended the air show? Who all attended Friday night? Let's go, let's have a picture of everybody who attended Friday night together. Come on. You had a great, that was a great turnout, and, yeah, let's do that. Some of us had more fun than others.
Marina looks so tiny.
It was very pretty. Yes. Thank you, Denise. And it was, I think in part to that, Friday night social that we did with Thunderbird, air show year. So I think they were greatly entertained by all. So thank you, Denise. All right, moving on, city happenings. Lauren, do you want to come up and give us a presentation on what's going on in the city?
Hi. I included the information about the eclipse for 2024 in the packet. I know Corey is not here to talk about it, but Heather provided us with just a basic rundown of what the plan is. It's a newsletter article. Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Published in the newsletter.
All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So I have one newsletter up here that I had extra, and I know that you have some more.
I have copies of this. You asked me to make copies, so I have copies.
Oh, yes, I included, that's what I included in the packet.
Yes, yes, and one of the main things is just, I wanted to find out if you guys want glasses in your restaurants.
So go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, no, to touch to Heather's point, businesses around town, the glasses, did we approve a list or?
I brought some glasses today to catch Councilmember Harmon up. Sherwood A&P purchased 10,000 glasses for the eclipse. And I brought some today for our business owners if they want some to take with them today. If you need to take some, if not, if you don't want them today, we can get them later. The chamber has some, as does Corey Malloy at Sherwood Forest. So,
Do you want the other restaurants around town?
I mean, anybody, sure, we have them available. The chamber has them available, as does Corey. So we'd like to get these glasses out. I don't want them to be on August 10th April 10th or 9th. I don't want,
April 8th.
yeah, but on April 9th or 10th, I don't want there to be a box with
Right,
eclipse
right.
glasses in them.
And we have a list of businesses around town
Yeah.
so we can go ahead and distribute.
I think, not to interrupt, but
Oh,
the
you're
question
fine.
was that if y'all wanted to prospective businesses that, you know, first come for you guys to have them there. And so if you would let, you know, us know today verbally, or let Marina know, and we'll get some distribution plan together. And just speaking on behalf of Corey, since he wasn't able to be here as sick child, so anyway, and I just kind of helped him get this all organized here.
But I did bring some, if you want to take some today, if not, we can get some to you.
We had some last meeting.
Yeah. No, I don't want a model. No, thank you.
I also included in the packet what we're thinking as the city regarding the distribution of the $35,000 for events. I'm not sure if you want to go through those to see.
Well, I'll
what
tell you
you're-
what, let's take a look at that. Okay, and of course, we don't include Trail of Lights or Fourth of
Right,
July, so,
Right, so each column, so for example, the Parks and Rec expenses, that was for the calendar and for the parade.
right, that's
So
correct.
the calendar this year was a little over $3,000, and the remaining balance, which is $3,900, we're gonna put that towards the Sherwood Parade.
That is correct.
Okay, and the Eclipse glasses, the amount up here we spent was a little over $5,000.
And that does not come out of this amount
Right,
because that came
right.
out of last year's budget.
Right, oh, okay, last year's budget.
Yeah,
Nice.
we bought those out of last year's monies.
Okay.
So that does not count.
Okay, and the July celebration, we have the $10,000 just for the fireworks.
That is correct.
And the Trail of Lights has its own money, which will
Correct.
go strictly towards that. Now, so for this year's events, we have the Easter egg hunt. We have a concert series that we're trying to put on. It's going to be happening the third Thursdays of every month, and it's gonna start in April and go on through May and June. August, we're thinking of having a dive-in movie, and September is gonna close out the concert series.
So on the 15,000 that you're expecting to spend, what would the money be used for?
To bring in talent, have different performers perform at the concert. We need stage, we need some small equipment, stuff like that is what the money is gonna go towards.
So you're paying for talent and rental of equipment and stage?
Yes, that's what we're wanting the money for, yes.
Okay, so you would bring us a listing of what the money's spent for, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay, or?
I mean, we'll take a vote on it up here.
Okay.
But sure, as long as, we'll need an accounting of what the money's spent for, but sure, so.
Okay. Now, the Easter egg hunt, we're budgeting about $3,500. I'm not sure if you guys are interested. And this year, we're gonna keep it very simple. We're gonna have it at City Hall, and we're just gonna have chocolate in Easter eggs. And it's something that's been popular around the city. So I'm not sure if you guys want to contribute or help with that event as well. The Kids to Park Day, the mayor, we have to have an events meeting on what we're gonna do for that. Last year, we had a fishing derby, and it was really successful, and I've spoken to Heather about it, and she thinks that's gonna be a great idea as well. So we're thinking $500 just to buy like little fishing lines, or, you know, for those that do not have the equipment to come fish. National Night Out to Unite. I know that is a police event. And we were thinking just to throw a couple of $100, even though for Heather to push it out, advertise, have more people come out
Okay,
for that. It was really successful last year, so I think
So it's going to, it was rebranded night.
Sherwood Night to Unite.
Yeah, Sherwood Night to Unite, and so we're gonna try to get as many sponsors as possible and so forth, but there's a good chance we'll be coming back to you guys, because we're gonna have food trucks and bounce houses, music, et cetera. Did you get with Paris and Fairfield?
No, not yet. Right now, I was just gonna inform ANP of the events that we're talking about and some monies that, you know, they may wanna contribute towards it. And we also have the Night of Remembrance last year. gonna put some money towards that. It was also a successful event. And the Winterfest is going to be a big winter event that we're talking about, having food trucks. It's going to be to replace the Sherwood Fest. So the Sherwood Parade is going to close out Winterfest, and that's all we have on the list. Well, New Year's Eve is something that Tommy did at the rec center last year, and he wanted me to bring it up to see if A&P can help with that.
Okay, so on the Winterfest, and what, since it's, like I asked on the concert series what the 15,000 was for, I'm gonna ask on the Winterfest what the 14,000 is for.
Well, we're going to bring out different acts, food trucks. It's going to be a whole.
So the 14,000 would be for,
Music, stage, you know.
okay,
Bounce houses,
okay,
you know, kind of like, similar to like a Sherwood Fest, only we're
Okay.
rebranding as Winterfest.
okay. And then on, what was Tommy's thing for $1,000?
Can you help me with that, Sean? The Noon Fest that he had at the rec center?
Just so everybody's familiar, we all know what an
He
Easter egg.
he did a New Year's Eve event instead of a New Year's Eve event, and so they did it for the kids and did like a balloon drop in the gym, and so they
Okay.
had a New Year's event for kids.
Okay, just so, I think everybody else knows what Easter egg hunt is and all that stuff, just so people, we all know what's going on, so. Okay, okay. So, commissioners, do you have any questions on any of these events that we would take out of the funding, since they are to bring their events to us for us to fund? Or do you want them to come one at a time, or do you want to okay these now? How do you feel about these events?
The only question I have was Night of Remembrance this year kind of tied specifically to some events that occurred last year, like the accident, the children in the accident, and the tornadoes and things of that nature. And I took it to be kind of a one-off thing because of some things that had, some tragic occurrences that had happened, and not going to be an annual thing.
So, it actually, we worked with lots of different organizations, Parents of Suicide, bereaved parents. We had people there who had lost a grandmother, a spouse, it was far more than just those kids, and certainly it was great to have it in terms of honoring those kids, but it certainly exposed the need of, you know, to a much greater
An
need
outlet
in
for
the
the grief.
community. So it really was not just those. And so it was just so well received, and it meant so much to so many people. And like I said, we had, you know, people had lost spouses, and, you know,
That's great if there's a need,
baby
yeah.
and a grandparent, and I mean, on a mother, all sorts of different things. And so it just seemed like, you know, it's a neat little meaningful thing that we could do. Not too difficult to pull off, but it meant a lot to a lot of different pockets of the community. We've already reached out to the bereaved parents organization and the church that, you know, we learned some things from it. Like, for example, avoid deer season and make sure it's after daylight savings time, and move it up to November because it's really hard for churches in December. So we found the date, because there's only one that would fit all the different criteria of that, so that we can have an even wider participation this next
Great.
year.
Yeah, if there's a need, I think it's great. I only was involved in the conversations at the council level, and I didn't really understand that, so.
Danny,
Sounds
you have
good.
any questions? Nita, Josh? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion? Do you want to adopt this as a full list, a partial list, one at a time? Any motions?
I'll move we adopt the list as presented in whole.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Charlie Harmon to adopt the list as whole. Second by Josh. If you'd like to call the roll, please.
Charlie,
Aye.
Danny,
Yes.
Nita,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Marina.
Aye. All right, thank you, Lauren. Do you have anything else you'd like to go over?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so commissioners, there'll be glasses here to take. If you need more, we can get you more, and that's it. All right, we're going on to the Trail of Lights. I handed out everybody a listing of the Trail of Lights. This is the 2023 versus 2022. I kind of did a little dive into it this morning, and in 2022, we had, there was 13 more days that we were actually open. But in actuality, when I look back, there's only 11 more days because we were closed 2 days due to rain. So we were open for 30 days in 2023. We were open for 41 days in 2022. The amount collected in 2022 was $55,946.69. You can see that on your second page. The amount collected in 2023 was $36,897.90. So basically, if you divide it all out, the average per night this year was $1,229.92 versus the average last year, which was $1,361.92. So if you divide that out, we were down basically about $4,000. If you divide it, it's $132 lower. And then I went to then I started looking back over some stuff, and we had a lot of fast passes this year, which was very lucky for us for the fast pass, because the fast pass was $13,000. But so if you take the fast pass out of it, we would have really only gotten about $23,000 worth of donations this year. We would have been really down. So we were lucky about the fast pass. As far as cars go, I did get a listing of cars. Last year, we had 20,000 cars. This year, 20,849. And if you break that down, it averages out about $3.19 per car. This year, we had 16,090 cars, and if you break that down, it's about $2.29 a car. Again, that includes the fast pass money, in with the money. You know, we tried it. We tried the QR code. I heard from several people that they came up to the gate. The QR code was not scanned. They weren't given a brochure. They weren't given a candy cane, sucker, whatever. I was in a meeting, and I know that Lauren said, I think she threw away 6,000 brochures, which that's a lot of brochures to throw away. I know we had a lot of candy canes or suckers left. That's a lot of money that we didn't use. And I was in the same meeting where I heard, when I asked the question of the police, and we do have the chief here, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. In that meeting, the officer that was there, the sergeant that was there, said, well, we're just trying to get the traffic through. I had two people that went through, and they were not, the bucket wasn't even, the jar or whatever they were handing out was even given out for them to put any money in there. And I know a lot of it was blamed on the groups that were managing the gate. And I know that sometimes those groups, you get what, you have teenagers, and I know, we all know how teenagers can be sometimes, but whatever it was this year, whatever we did, whether it's the QR code, the teenagers, trying to rush people through, whatever we did this year, guys, it did not work, okay? And I think we can all agree. We tried it. It didn't work. I know the chief wants to talk, and I will give him his due opportunity to talk.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna hand these out.
I'll give you your opportunity, sure, sure. I mean, the money doesn't lie. We have the money right here in front of us. That doesn't lie. I can give you a rundown of the money right here, what we've had for the last, ever since 2013. In 2021, we had $85,000. In 2020, we had $94,000. 2019, $56,000. 2018, $47,000. 2017, $55,000. 2016, $52,000. 2015, $49,000. 2014, $46,000. 2013, $37,000. And in those years, even back to 2013, we weren't always open as many days, so we haven't been as low as we were this year, all the way back to 2013. I don't know how far back we go in our records, but I do have the records back to 2013. So Diana probably has them in her office, and I'm sure if I asked her, she just got back. She had a death in her family, and she just got back, and I don't want to ask her to do something like that right now, but guys, it didn't work. So I will give the chief an opportunity to speak. I'll give him first, and then I'll give Parks second an opportunity to speak after the chief. So go ahead, chief.
I'm gonna give y'all these were, and I didn't create these, I will tell you that up front, but this is, and most of the numbers that you gave just now were pretty consistent with what, were on this sheet. So this shows how many, cars came through, the donations received, and it broke it down. It's pretty much the same information you gave, but it goes back for, 6 years there. So, here's my, I want to understand this, that I don't have a dog in the fight here. I don't care one way or the other how we do Trail of Lights, as far as what the purpose of it is. Okay, I'm speaking strictly from the standpoint of safety and strictly from the standpoint of getting vehicles through there. So I get a little bit of, I'm a little confused. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little confused because my understanding has always been that the Trail of Lights was not a money-making operation, that was not its intent. The Trail of Lights was to provide a place for people to come and enjoy the lights and drive through the lights. That was the purpose. That was always my understanding. That's what I've always been told. So this year, the steps that we took, I can tell you, and I have been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you that hands down, in my opinion, this was the most successful year we ever had. And the number of cars, to me, don't constitute success to me. And the amount of money that we get in donations don't constitute success for me. So I got to make that disclaimer right up front. What makes a success to me is that we provided that opportunity for people to drive through and see the lights. We didn't have backups on Highway 107. We didn't have any accidents. Nobody got hurt. And it ran really smoothly. I went through it 3 times, and I went up there on several occasions, and, it was running smoothly. Now, as far as and I can't speak to this is a question for Parks and Rec as far as the volunteers go and what goes into that. But I would be comfortable, and we've discussed this before, but based on what I saw last year, I would be comfortable just completely opening it up and leaving it open. I think it would be easier for our officers to respond down there, and I think that we would have, I think that by not forcing people the way we've done it in the past, we're forcing congestion by putting them in certain times that it's open, and then we build a situation where we're creating a backup, and then we fight against that backup all night long. By offering these times for them to come through, that eliminated a lot of that congestion, because I say forced, it gave people the opportunity and the freedom to feel comfortable in coming at 7 or 7:30 instead of feeling like they have to be there at 5:30 and line up in order to get through. So I think that this experiment showed us that we can get a lot more cars through if we're not bottlenecking up all at once, because we didn't have those backups. If y'all drove through there, it was smooth and quick every night that I went up there, and I tried it at several different times on several different nights, both weeknights and weekends. The second thing that I think that we found out by doing that is, I think we can open it up and allow people to just go and not try to control the access coming in and control the access coming out, because I think it will take care of itself. The traffic will take care of itself. For those of you that have been up to Batesville, that's the way they do it. And I had some concern about that, but now I don't. I think that it would work just fine. The downside to that is, if you're doing that, you don't have volunteers out there, you're not standing out there with a bucket trying to collect funds, and so you are going to lose some of that. There's still, and you have no need for fast passes if you do that. The problem with that, the thing that you're going to run into if you do that, though, is if you let them go, if your purpose is the amount of money that you're making off of it, if that's your goal, then that's not going to work. But if the goal is just for people to go through, I think it'll work great. You can still have the QR codes. You could, like the brochures. I'm not very computer literate. Everybody knows that about me. But I can take a picture with a QR code, and that QR code will put the brochure right there on my phone where I can look at it. I know how to do that. Most people do. And also, if I want to make donations, it can, that can pop up there, that if you want to make donations, you can do it this way. I can tell you the cost for the city would be tremendous, but the cost for my department would be tremendous on how much I spend on overtime for that. But again, this is just information, so you know. That's my take on it. I'd be glad to answer any questions, but I thought, financially, maybe it wasn't successful, but outside of that, I was very satisfied with the way it went. Any questions y'all have of me?
If I look at your information, I think one thing that's interesting to me, instead of comparing 22 to 23, when we've got a different number of years open and we've got different weather and so on and so forth, I like comparing 19 to 23, where we have the same number of days opened. We only have 4,005 more cars in 19 than we did in 23. And we only had 53 cents more per car in 19 than we did in 23. And I think that if research was done, 19 was a much better year economically than 23 for pretty much everyone. And I wonder if some of this, especially the donations, the average donation per car, wasn't a factor of the economy as much as anything else. And then we have, of course, the car count was probably an effect of our new method of putting the cars through. And it may be, and I'm sure y'all aren't going to make a decision today on this, but it may be that it still needs to be talked about, that there's going to be a learning. And I think when this was talked about at the council meeting, when this was brought to the council meeting, y'all were giving us the information on this?
Yes.
Used the term learning curve.
We
that there
did
may
use that
be a-
term.
There may be a learning curve on this type of system, and we may have to try it for a while to get it up to speed. So anything, I would just ask that we look at those years, 2019 versus 23, and like I said, those metrics, I think, are much more comparable than comparing 22 to 23.
One thing I do want to let you know is we're not in this to make money. What we make is we try to buy a new display every year. So, last year, we bought a display, for the American flag, is that correct? Okay, and that American flag costs $43,359.93. So that flag, those displays that we purchase are pretty expensive. That's why we try to earn, make this money to buy a display every year. So it's not like we're trying to make money, we're just trying to make money to buy a display for next year for the enjoyment of the people that drive through there. I know one thing that we won't be doing next year is we will not be buying brochures because those cost $4,270.50. So that was $4,000. A lot of that went in the Dipsy dumpster. So we will not be buying brochures next year. So it is a learning curve, but I do want, commissioners, I do want you to chew on this for a little bit. And I do want us to think about this suggestion that the chief has about having just an open drive-through, and we could have signs throughout, the QR code, different signs throughout not just at the beginning, at the end, but maybe throughout, so people could click on it throughout maybe, and they could donate. So let's just maybe chew on this for a little bit and think about it, okay?
Can I add one thing to that?
Sure.
And I don't want you to I don't want anybody on the commission to misunderstood what I said. I wasn't trying to accuse you of this being a money-making thing. I just want you to understand that from my perspective, the only drawback to opening it up is that you're going to lose money on donations. Presumably, you will lose money on donations if you do that. To me, that's the only drawback. I will tell you the upside to opening it up. The upside to opening it up is we have better access to it to police it. And I know that sounds crazy to say that, but we have better access to it because now, when those gates are locked before the night opens, and when those gates are locked when it's over, we don't have access down there. So we have to have somebody with a key. I mean, we can go up there with keys and open it up, but we can't quickly respond to be up there. So it limits our ability to respond up there, for one. And the second thing that I think is an upside to that is if it's open all the time, if you want to drive through there at 10:30 at night, you can. And I don't see what that hurts. We have the ability to count cars. We have the strips where we can count cars, so we can still get the number of cars that come through. We can put like Ms. Brooks said, we can put the QR codes up there to where we can, hopefully recoup money and still get donations. Hopefully people would do that, but we would still be able to get those counts. It would have more access to people that they could come and go, and then we can, with a timer, we can turn the lights off at midnight. We can turn them off at 10, whatever time, we decide that we want to, or leave them on all night, probably not, but we can turn them on and turn them off by timer. Sean and them can do that. And I just think that, I kind of think that more people will go through if they have, if you have extended hours, but, I mean, that's an opinion. But like I say, I was very surprised, because I had apprehension about, what it would be like, this year, and I think they did a really good job. To me, it proved that people are capable, and we still had some hiccups, but man, not anything like we've had in the past. We still had some hiccups, but I was very put the information out there and people followed the rules and they did it and it went pretty smooth. And as far as the QR codes not being scanned, you know, what we were using those QR codes for was, you know, we had the ability to count and we knew how many reservations were made for a time slot. And pretty much what they saw is that if we're not full in this time slot, then we can let the cars go because we're still getting the count. And there's no point in bottlenecking traffic by stopping every car and getting the QR codes. And, cause that was on the front of the line, not the back. So, but anyway, I appreciate your time and like I say, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Chief, is there any concern for vandalism if the gates are open up? Or a vandal's gonna walk behind the gate regardless? Anything to that point?
That's it right there. It's actually less of a concern for vandalism. So, and I'll tell y'all this, I wouldn't tell the public this, but if we open.
But you are. But you are.
I'm talking about, I wouldn't advertise this next year, but if we do that, we'll have cameras up. So it will allow us to, we can put cameras up, we can still get the counts. So no, that does not concern me because I would rather have, it's easy to jump the fence and go down there and do damage and we can't get to you readily. So no, I'm not concerned about that part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Sean or Dee, if y'all have anything for trail?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have something you want to talk about today about the Angels?
Yeah, if you got a minute, about the Angels, Field of Angels again. We have an idea. Okay, so what do y'all think about a big wooden angel with plaques to represent the individuals currently in the field? The idea was put it at the end, light it up, paint it white, or reflect, so each person could have, you know, a brass tag or, you know, whatever, for each person, the 95-ish we've got now, and what'd you say, 3? We've got 3 inquiries already for angels this year. But that would eliminate, you know, just doing I brought the one I showed you last month, just the one metal one. But I know, Josh, you were worried about names, and then Mayor suggested, you know, if we put the names, it'd be more symbolic of the individuals than just an angel out there. So that's just something to think about.
Can we put it like to the side where they could pull over and not block traffic?
So what we were thinking is put it at the end toward the trail of lights, toward the splash pad, sorry, where they can park in the splash pad parking and walk over to it. So, like Chief said, we're not bottlenecking anything. If you want to walk up, take a picture with it, you know, here's my loved one, you know.
I think my biggest concern was 10 years from now, how many names may need to be and what system we designed, you know, just to be thinking ahead, long ways down the head. So we're not saying no to someone or we're having, you know, just thinking about growth and making sure that's an option. I think it sounds great.
Deal I showed you was 6 by 10. You fill the body up, and if we have to, build another one.
Yeah.
You know, just keep adding. It's kind of like similar to what we do at Sherwood Forest with the blocks or the bricks. You know, people buy them and they cut it, add them in, and move on.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good idea. Just throw that out there for y'all.
Okay.
That's about all I got on trail. Chief covered the other part of it really well.
All right, so is that something you want us to make a decision on today, or is that something we need, that we
I know
can?
we talked about it last time, since it does impact so many people. I mean, if y'all want to think about it.
All right, let's think about that also, and then we'll make a decision on everything next meeting. Do you have a question, Nita?
Have you figured what the price would be on, okay, so instead of buying an angel, they would pay for the plaque? Is that,
I'm assuming we'll leave that up to y'all.
okay,
Because right now, angels are $750
Okay.
I mean, and then we may let y'all decide what y'all find, what number's right for that.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right. Any other questions of Sean? All right, thank you, Sean. All right, now, that's it for Trail of Lights. Now, up to 2024 projects update, pickleball.
We have the contract signed. We're meeting the contractor tomorrow at 8 a.m. to do a site visit, get that rolling. And y'all should see progress, real soon.
Out here in front of City Hall, okay. Old soccer field complex restroom.
We met Shane Hill out there. They are super excited. We've got the location. We've got to move a little storage building. And then just get the construction underway. So we've got it all planned out. It'll be just like the one out here and at Indian Head. So it'll have two, toilet areas. And then we're going to redo the one that's currently there. It's like a family. Anyway, we'll get that rolling as soon as we can.
Okay. Repaving of walking area at the baseball field.
So we've met 2 or 3 asphalt companies, waiting on quotes to get that rolling. They come out and it takes a while to get quotes back.
Okay. Tunnel of lights at City Hall.
We're working toward that. We got an idea, just get it nailed down, built, and ready to go.
Okay. Old business, since you're up there, I'm gonna go to C on old business. 2023 projects, Greens parking lot.
Okay, so I was there today. The cracked sidewalk that they fastened the handrail to.
Right.
They jackhammered it out, repoured it. The handrails are there, and I talked to Sally Half. They screwed up one section, so they're reordering it. So, yeah, we're still navigating our way through that to get it finished.
Okay, so this is still gonna be on the list, okay. Okay, soccer. Do I need to take a field trip?
We got the irrigation in, like we talked about, down the center.
Mhm.
Fields look great. We're gonna, Mandel, when he does the field, he's gonna do the center part and get that start growing.
Parking lot area, that area out in front of the park, the area between the parking lot and the,
Yeah,
yeah,
we might need to visit out there.
okay, let's plan a visit, okay. We'll leave that on the list. Trail of Light building,
That, I have submitted the load sheet to North Little Rock to get Paul set, so we can get the lights, and power down to that building.
so all 3 items from 2023 need to stay, okay. Okay, thank you, Sean. Okay. Updated history book, I did talk to Linda Rimley, we're on go with that. Okay, Sherwood Chamber Guide, Ronnie, did you bring a guest with you today to help you? You want to introduce your guest?
Damien.
I think,
Everybody knows Damien.
well, no, does everybody know Damien?
Nobody knows you? He can introduce himself.
Hey everybody, I'm Damien Evans-Delry with Sherwood Florist, but also a member of one of the board members for the Sherwood Chamber of Commerce. And I have been helping Ronnie working on this year's city guide.
We're really proud of it. It's coming out really great. We're working on editing this week and getting into print next week so it can be ready for the banquet. I was hoping to hook up to the computers, but I didn't think about how to do that. So if I could take my computer up to you so we can just show you your guys' ad and the restaurant guide that we've been working on.
Okay, you can just pass it along. You can start with Mr. Harmon down there.
Well, this is the cover that we have decided to use. I thought it represented Sherwood very well because it has a different generation gap right there. And it's right in front of the pond. I thought it was pretty nice. And we're gonna put the A&P ad in the first page. So here is it, welcome to Sherwood, and we have the same little paragraph that you guys have been using throughout the last couple months. We highlighted some of features that you guys had put before. We wanted to make sure we use different pictures, not the same ones.
That is correct.
Yes, so if you guys I just want to see if you guys would approve of this one.
All right, would you mind showing that to Heather and make sure that everything checks out on that as far as the information is correct?
Like it?
Yes. When is the banquet?
It is the 7th.
7th of March?
Yes, once we get everything else, what is going to be Yes. Great.
That's fast. I didn't see it.
Okay, and then we also have.
Oh, you didn't say it?
She's on my committee. Yes.
You didn't say
Send it over to me, I'm gonna. We also have the dining guide in here with all the restaurants in Sherwood. Starting with this one, it's just listed, everybody's, all the restaurants in Sherwood, their address, their telephone number, things like that. And then we also have the tear out guide as well.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll shoot it over to Heather so she can let you know if all the pictures are good.
And if all the
And the-
print,
yes.
the info, print,
Yes, I need eagle eyes to make sure that all the typing was. done
yes,
right and there's no
okay.
mistakes. So that's all I have. A lot of work. Yes, it's a lot. But we're really proud of it. It came out really great. I think we highlighted Sherwood and it's the best.
All right, thank you, guys. Damien and Ronnie, thank you very much. Does anyone have any new business to bring before the commission today? Are there any announcements from anybody? Okay. All right, I would dismiss everybody, but Debbie, does Steve Cobb need to stay, Debbie? All right, Steve, you can, he gets to go, all right. All right. All right, we need to vote on the financials. If someone would like to make a motion to accept the financials.
I make a motion to approve financials.
Second.
We have a motion by Danny to approve the financials. Josh, seconded. Would you call the roll, please?
Charlie,
Aye.
Danny,
Yes.
Nita,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Marina.
Yes, yes. We back, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, the meeting of the Sherwood Advertising Promotions Commission is over at 4:56. Thank you, everybody.